VIP.
What's up, besties? Welcome back to my channel. Yes, I know I was calling y'all my bookies, but I like my besties better because this is like our daily FaceTime call, and I gotta catch you up on what's going on in the spirit world, okay? So, I just made a video before this. It was like 40 minutes long. I'm not uploading it, but, and it's already been deleted off my iPad, so if you ask me to upload it, I can't because it's deleted. But anyways, I made this video. It was literally like me venting because there's nobody that I could talk to in my natural life about any of the things that I mentioned in that video. Like I can't, I don't even remember what I was saying in that video, but I just had to get all of that out so I didn't mistakenly say it in this video. Okay, I love y'all, but there are things that take place in my spiritual life that I cannot speak on with another person. And God has been having me in this like isolation period where like I don't really talk to anybody. I swear I just saw a bug crawling. I swear I saw a bug crawling. But there's nothing there. But at the corner of my eye, I swear I saw a bug crawling. Excuse me. But I feel like God's had me in this like isolation period. And I have been like trying to, so okay, in the past when I would be in isolation, I would, I've talked to myself, of course. I've always talked to myself. That's how I like gather my thoughts and hear my thoughts, and that's how I get through life, really, is by talking to myself and making mental notes of things. But once I started having friends and like best friends and people felt that they could trust me with their stuff, I started feeling like I could trust people with my stuff. So I started telling people, like, every time something happened spiritually, I was calling my friend and saying, girl, and like she may not have even been able to process what I was saying. Sometimes when I would call her, she would fall asleep on the phone. So I'd be talking to myself and I realized she fell asleep. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll talk to you later. Because clearly God was like, her ears don't need to hear what's going on right now. My ears need to hear what's going on right now. And I'm a content creator. I've been a content creator on and off since I was 18. I'm 27 now. So on and off, all them old platforms is deleted. So you can't go and find me. But on and off, I struggled with putting myself out there. I struggled with my self-worth. I struggled with my confidence. I thought that if I made content, it would help those things, to come out and I'd feel more comfortable with it. But honestly, I needed to heal. I needed therapy, okay? Because I had been isolated and healing by myself when it's like God was like, go get a therapist. Like, go have somebody that you can talk to that has no judgment zone, that, can hear what you're going through and can guide you. Ask me for the proper therapist. And I didn't do that until I went and through psychosis and was in the hospital. I asked God to send me the right therapist, the right psychiatrist, the right OB/GYN, the right everything. Okay? So fast forward, I've now been here 2 years. Last week, I got a message in my my doctor's office has like an app, and it's like a portal that you can go into. Portal. Anyways, there's like a portal you go into, and like it has like messages from your doctor and stuff. So I got a message from my doctor's office, my OB/GYN to be specific, and my OB/GYN is retiring. So I had to get a new OB/GYN. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Like, this is very sudden, very unexpected. So I called, got a new OB/GYN. Then, fast forward a few days later, I get a letter in the mail, unexpected letter, from my therapy office, which is also my psychiatry office, which is also my primary care office. So I automatically thought the letter was probably about a copay that I haven't paid. Because I really haven't paid my copays in a minute. But they have told me that I don't have any, so they never brought it up, bring it up when I go in there and say you have a copay, so Uh, um, but I went in there, or I got this letter, and in this letter, it said that my therapist was moving to another department within the same brand, within the same company. So I was like, oh, now that would be the second therapist I've gone through since I moved here. The first therapist, I only had her for, I feel like I only had her for like a few months. This therapist, I've had her for a whole year. Yeah, I've had it for a year and some change. And at first, I would see her like every 2 weeks. But as of lately, like right before our last appointment, it became like once a month, once every other month, because she just became busier. So she didn't have time to see me as often. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I was doing a lot of more healing on my own between that time. I wasn't relying on my therapist to do the work for me. I was, working on the things that we discussed in therapy, when I would not be in therapy. So I called on Monday, this past Monday, and I was like, oh, I got a letter in the mail saying that, my therapist is leaving. And she was like, yeah. I was like, did she already put me another therapist? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay. Now, judging by the name of my therapist, I assumed she was another older lady. Judging by the name. But I was like, it's whatever. I know my previous therapist was a good therapist, so I have a feeling that she put me with somebody good. I trust her. And they were asking me if I wanted to come in that day to see my new therapist, because she was like, the receptionist on the phone was like, um your your new therapist has a lot more availability than your old therapist did. So if you want, you can come in today at 1 o'clock. And I was like, oh, I can't come in today at 1 o'clock. I'm going to visit my grandma, so I can't come in today. She's like, well, you come in tomorrow at 8 a.m. I was like, okay, let's goddamn do it. Let's freaking goddamn do it. Okay. So I did. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous because it's like, okay, I've never gone to a therapy appointment this early. But it's like as soon as I saw her, she was young like me. Um, she was very inviting. It felt like I was talking to my friend. It didn't feel like I was talking to like a mom figure. Like my previous therapist, the one I had right before this one, felt more like a mom figure. Like she helped me decide or figure out all the things when it came to like my family trauma. She let me figure out a lot of things, like helped me figure out a lot of things about that. But this one feels like I'm talking to a friend. So it was like I was more comfortable. I was more relaxed. I was more open. I wasn't wearing a mask as much because I was when I would go to my other therapist. Like if she was like, oh, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, blah, 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 blah. I didn't really have anything to say to her because I didn't feel like she'd understand where I was coming from because she's so much older than me. Whereas this therapist, I was laying it all on the table, like my raw emotions. And she was like, bet, I can help you with that, and that. I was like, this is the therapist I prayed for when I was in the hospital. This is the therapist I prayed for when I was in the hospital. And, it just felt good. Like, even though, like, I had been searching for somebody that I could talk to about the things that go on in my mind, he sent me this therapist to say, talk to her about it. You can't talk to your best friend about it. You've talked to me about it. And now I'm sending you somebody that you can physically receive confirmation from and guidance from. And, I really like her. But there was a time when I was very isolated and I didn't have anybody to talk to, and I would try to talk to people about the things that was going on in my brain, and they wouldn't be able to understand or give me the proper guidance. So that video that I just made was literally me like just venting to myself, just to get it all out there, because I have had a long past of doing this where, like I said already, when something transpires within me spiritually, the first thing I want to do is tell somebody. Because it's like, oh my gosh, God did this. God did this. And I need to tell you what he did for me so you could believe even harder. Excuse me. But that is not what God wants me to do. It's not my job to make people it's not my job to turn non-believers into believers. It's not my job to like make people have a stronger connection with God. It's not my job. It's just my job to heal. It's just my job to be a nurse. To nurse you back to spiritual health. My handy dandy notebook. Today is the 26th. Okay. Exactly 1 month since my birthday. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to nurse you back to spiritual health, okay? While also nursing myself. But I've got to a point within my spiritual journey where I have my cup overflowing enough, and it's been overflowing long enough because I'm seeing like it's overflowing and it's creating like a flood almost, like, of water. So I have more than enough energy to give to the world this knowledge that I possess within myself. But I can't make you do these things, okay? You may have to seek therapy as well as, communicating or receiving the message. My throat chakra's been going through it for the last like 12 hours, so bear with me. But readings, my readings, you may receive what you need from my readings, or you may have to, do as I did and get a therapist to help you, understand what's going on in your brain, whatever. I'm here to help you, is what I'm saying, okay? Yeah, honestly, this feels great. I feel like I've taken my position. I'm ready. I'm ready for my position, and now I can make the channel message.